very set his earthquake mark was, so that was fine. And then we kept running lines all the way back towards the end of the plateau, but still within the ruins. And we found a displacement line that veered around towards the cemetery, such that you had a semicircle of displacement lines in that part of the ruins, whereas devoted an earthquake line going straight off and way back to the end of the terrace. And what it clearly is some kind of local displacement that has nothing to do with an earthquake crack or anything like this. It's a subsidence, it's something of this sort. And we've been able to plot exactly the line of that subsidence. Now the interesting thing is that an archaeologist called, I think Solomon Steckel, around 1968, got permission from the Jordanian government to have a close look at this, and he brought in a mechanical engineer to study it. The mechanical engineer said that it was a local displacement, that probably the cistern broke before they even properly used it. And because Steckel had very much fallen out with Roland Deveau, who was the big figure in Qumran studies at the time, his work, while they published his report in Wadi Qumran, they basically laughed at it. They made a joke of it. They even made snide remarks. I think it was Kalmanyat made snide remarks underneath it. I mean, it was quite an extraordinary hatchet job that they did while allowing him to publish the article in typical Deveau. And so that particular suggestion was basically buried, but it seems to us that he was right. And I think that's rather nice. Has anyone got any queries? I mean, nothing on the technical side you'll have to address to our expert.
How detailed are the readings that you get? Are you just finding out where there are walls and where there are hollow spaces, or can you see objects?
Well, it's possible with the ground scan to see objects if you've got, if the conditions are right, if you've got certain antennae and so on. I mean, we ran it across our floor and we could see the reinforcing bars.
It's a focusing situation, and you can use the antenna that we're using is capable of penetrations down to as much as 6 meters. So technically, I think the survey procedure has been to identify with any possible anomalies that are interesting, and then perhaps take a closer look at them by detailing them closer. Obviously, by running one transect down the middle of a room, you can't see everything that might happen within the room, but you can identify with something that might be interesting and then take a closer look at it by further transects, different multi-directional transects, and also by focusing the antenna so that perhaps you're only looking at 1 meter instead of 5 meters or 4 meters or 3 meters.
Is this an efficient use of this machinery?
I think it's working quite well. You know, typically the system is set up in a manner by which you can determine by looking at a sort of a, if I can put it into layman's language, a pulse signal, a continuous pulse signal. And so you're able to determine as changes are being seen if the system is actually registering them. I mean, we did a number of ground truthing tests when we first got here, where we were actually able to see, for instance, some outcroppings or some walls that make their way to the surface. And by running across them, we were able to set up what we felt was the optimum settings. And from that, then we felt quite comfortable that we were getting readings that would indicate where any changes are being made. Again, as Michael mentioned earlier, the system sends out an array of pulses, and these pulses are reflected back from any changes that occur within the ground's subsurface. These changes occur because different materials conduct electricity in different ways. And so whenever the signal sees different changes between materials, it reflects some of the signal back where it's received and registered, and some of the signal it continues to go into the ground to try to pick up another interface. And as he did say, it is a difficult interpretation process because what you're looking at is a continuous profile information. So for instance, a round target, such as a pipe, you actually don't see the entire pipe. What you see is the top 180 degrees of the pipe. And this indication from the pipe is basically an inverted hyperbola, because the antenna begins to view an object before it gets to it, continues to view it as it passes over it,